Luka Doncic puts on an incredible night, a historic night, over the triple-double king Russell Westbrook as the Dallas Mavericks get some heroics from Dorian Finney-Smith to get a 125-124 win. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. Luka Doncic puts on an absolutely historic performance, going for 31 points, 20 assists, and 12 rebounds. He generated 51 points on the 20 assists that he had in the game against the Washington Wizards, including 17 points on the 7 assists alone in the crucial fourth quarter, where after he was double-teamed and forced to pass the ball to Dorian Finney-Smith, he knocks down a corner three with 9.2 seconds left to give the Mavericks a 125-124 win now to move a season-high 9 games above 500 at 36-27 on the season, 7-3 in their last 10. Now they've won 3 straight for the Mavericks, who are now tied for the 5th seed in the Western Conference with the Los Angeles Lakers at 36-27, which is extremely important because they own the season series over LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. This was a fantastic basketball game. This was my first time seeing Russell Westbrook play with my own 2 eyes in front of me, and he put on an absolutely amazing show. He had 42 points, including 18 in the second quarter alone. He combined with 29 points, 11 of those coming from Bradley Beal in that second quarter, where the Mavericks gave up 39 points and the Washington Wizards were down 70-65 at the half. This was after the Dallas Mavericks were able to lead in the first quarter 38-26, where they now move to 22-0 this season when leading after the first quarter. They raced out to a huge 38-26 lead. They shot 60% from the field in the first quarter, 60% from the three-point line. Willie Cauley-Stein had a couple of block shots. They had 5 steals. They also held the Wizards to 36% shooting. Maxi Kleber was also fantastic in that first quarter, going 3 of 3 from the field, those 3 of 3 from the three-point line. Luka Doncic was absolutely amazing in the first half. 20 points, 11 assists, the most in a career and a half for Luka Doncic, to go along with 6 rebounds. Maxi Kleber was the only other player in double figures with 17 points, with him playing well, especially shooting the ball from the three-point line. All 17 of Maxi Kleber's points came in the first half. With this win, the Mavericks now have won 27 of their last 40 basketball games after a 9-14 start, where they were 14th in the Western Conference, and it seemed like things were going nowhere fast for the Dallas Mavericks. I let Luka Doncic know after the game about this fact that the Mavericks have won 27 out of their last 40. Here was his reaction to the fact that the Mavericks are 27-13 in their last 40 games. Here is what he had to say. Lukas, since a 9-14 start, you guys have won 27 out of your last 40. What has it spoken to about the resiliency of your team now that you guys are in the 5th seed with the Lakers now?
I mean, I think we're playing better basketball right now. But, you know, we got to focus every game. We got to play like that, come out like today, and just keep having the same energy.
So you could tell the response from Luka Doncic was one of shock and awe to know that the Mavericks have gone 27-13 in their last 40 games. That is a near 68% win percentage clip for the Dallas Mavericks since they started off 9-14, at one point losing 6 games in a row, at one point losing 10 of 13 games. This team has pulled themselves together in their last 40 games to now get a season-high 9 games above 500. This game also featured Dorian Finney-Smith, who had 22 points in this game, had the game-winning three-pointer with 9.2 seconds left. This was a back-and-forth, amazing tilt between 2 teams, where you had a Washington Wizards team that was extremely hot, winning 11 of their last 13 games to find themselves in the Eastern Conference play-in situation if the season were to end today. Russell Westbrook, who has been on an absolute historic tear in terms of his triple-doubles, him and Bradley Beal also played well in this game. In this game, Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook combined for nearly 80 points in this game combining for 61 71 points, I should say. Yeah, 42 plus 29. Yeah, that's 71. That's how good these two were playing with one another, especially Russell Westbrook, who ferociously attacked the rim all night long. Bradley Beal able to hit the shot from the three-point line. These two were absolutely fantastic, but it was the Luka Doncic show. As I mentioned, 31 points, 20 assists, 12 rebounds. He becomes just the fourth player in NBA history, along with Russell Westbrook, Oscar Robertson, and Magic Johnson, to have a 30-point, 20-assist, 10-rebound game. Yeah, that's the company that the first-team All-NBA performer is keeping. I asked Dorian Finney-Smith, though, after the game with respect to how this team has been able to remain resilient now that they've won 27 out of their last 40 after their 9-14 start. Here's what Dorian Finney-Smith had to say.
Dorian, after a 9-14 start, you guys have won 27 out of your last 40 and now find yourself in the 5th seed. What does that speak to as far as the resiliency and what you guys have been through the season to find yourself at this point now?
I mean, it feels good, but, we feel like we, should be in the top of the West. So we're just going to keep working and try to put ourselves in the best position for the playoffs.
So Dorian Finney-Smith saying, look, we continue to move forward together. We've been through a lot this season. But more importantly for Dorian Finney-Smith, he has turned himself into a very nice player, a guy who can shoot the ball from the three-point line, is putting the ball on the deck more these days, being much more aggressive. Tim Hardaway saying after the game, look, we want him to be more aggressive and to look for a shot because he is able to hit the shot from the three-point line with confidence and be aggressive when he's doing so. You saw that in this game where Luka Doncic, who was double-teamed in the final waning seconds of this game, was forced to pass the ball, trusting his teammates, as we've seen him do earlier this year against the Denver Nuggets on the road with Maxi Kleber. He was able to do so in a crucial moment, and Dorian Finney-Smith rewarded that trust by hitting the shot in the corner. Tim Hardaway was huge in the fourth quarter. He had 7 points, or 9 points. Trey Burke had 7 points in the fourth quarter, which was interesting because for the first 36 minutes of this game, Trey Burke didn't play at all. But yet he came in the fourth quarter, hit a couple of big shots for the Dallas Mavericks to keep them in this game. Tim Hardaway, the iron will that we saw from him and against the Detroit Pistons, where he scored a season-high 42 points, he was not going to allow to this Mavericks team to lose again, and he kept them in it with some big shots in it also. I asked Tim Hardaway after the game, how was this game a microcosm of what you guys have been through this season, given the adversity that you had to overcome to find yourself now a season-high 9 games above 500? Here is what Tim Hardaway Jr. had to say.
Hey, Tim, as you know, this team at one point was 9-14, 14th in the Western Conference, had lost 6 games in a row. But to now be in the 5th seed tied with the Lakers, knowing where you guys were, how was this game tonight specifically a reflection of what you guys have been through this season?
I mean, just the heartaches, the pains, just being able to move on to the next play. And that's just been the story of this whole entire season with guys sitting out because of COVID protocols and us not having a lot of our starters and not having a lot of our key guys in the beginning of the season for us to, turn the page and keep moving forward and stay on each other to make sure we prevail through each and every course of the season. It's really exciting, and we're starting to click at the right time of the season.
So Tim Hardaway saying, look, we've been through a lot. We had to get ourselves and pick ourselves up and now put ourselves in this position to where we continue to fight, knowing that the season isn't over, but more importantly, knowing that we still have a long ways to go. And now that we're in this position, we're going to continue to move forward. It's been the name of the game for the Mavericks, who at times have found themselves really struggling, whether it be with injuries, which I'll get to here in a second, or dealing with COVID, or dealing with an arduous set of circumstances in terms of the back-to-backs and the travels, which every NBA team has had to deal with. This Mavericks team has weathered the storm, and they had to do so in a game where they blew an 18-point lead at one point against the Washington Wizards. Rui Hachimura, Bradley Beal, also Russell Westbrook, they were playing very well in this game to the point where they took an 8-point lead in this game, and the Mavericks had to find themselves coming back. You say, Kevin, this is a team that has to learn how to play better with leads, like Rick Carlisle said after the game, for them to be more confident going into these playoffs. I get that. But this was a gut check win, and a win that they needed to be able to have for themselves to continue to build on the confidence, because there was no Kristaps Porzingis in this game, nor J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick still dealing with some right heel soreness, and Kristaps Porzingis, who missed the game against the Wizards, will also miss the game against the Sacramento Kings due to his right knee soreness, which continues to be of major concern given that he's already had surgery on the torn meniscus in that same right knee. Rick Carlisle saying pregame that he has no timetable for his return, will continue to rehab and find himself getting better to try and get himself ready to come back at some point for the Mavericks. So there's your Kristaps Porzingis update, your obligatory one with respect to his injury. I asked Trey Burke, though, after the game, look, what does this win mean for you guys now that you, yes, are tied for the 5th seed with the Los Angeles Lakers, given what you were able to do against the Washington Wizards? Here is what Trey Burke had to say after the game.
Yeah, Trey, you guys did go into 5th place with the Lakers after tonight's win. So what does that mean for you, knowing that's a fact and going forward now to continue to building that trust, as you said, with the rest of your teammates going forward?
Well, we know it's still 8 or 9 games left. Nothing set in stone. So we still got our finished business. We got a team coming in tomorrow that we lost twice to this year, and the Kings, and we know it's going to be another dogfight. So we got to finish pretty much what they say, finish your breakfast. We got to finish what we done already started, and just keep getting better and keep growing each and every game. We know that all of these games are important. So no game is more important than the other with what we're fighting for. So we're conscious of that.
So Trey Burke saying, look, there's no quit in us. We have to continue to look and keep our eyes toward the prize, given what we've now been able to accomplish and put ourselves in this position to do. So you give credit, another big team win for a Mavericks team that got help from Maxi Kleber, who had 17 points, all of his 17 points in the first half. Tim Hardaway came up huge in the 4th quarter with his 9 points, obviously with Trey Burke and the 7 points that he had. Willie Cauley-Stein was really active in this game, had a couple of block shots. Luka Doncic was working the alley-oops to guys like Dwight Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein. Both of them were dealing with early foul trouble. They overcame some blown calls that they felt like did not go their way. This game was a perfect microcosm of what the Mavericks have been. Jekyll and Hyde. At one point, an 18-point lead, hitting the ball well from the 3-point line. And then you see in the second quarter, they allowed the Washington Wizards to get back in it with a 39-point second quarter with Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook leading the charge with a combined 29 points. They get down just 5 at the end of the half. And then the Washington Wizards outscore them 32-19 in that pivotal third quarter to take the lead. And then the Dallas Mavericks come back with a 36-point fourth quarter of their own, capped off by a massive Dorian Finney-Smith shot to be able to win this game. But again, this team is going to go as Luka Doncic takes, as far as Luka Doncic takes them. And when you go for 31 points, 20 assists, and 12 rebounds, just sheer mind-boggling monster numbers for the 22-year-old first-team All-NBA performer, who has now honestly put himself in the dark horse conversation for the NBA's MVP. That's how good Luka Doncic was in this game, and they had to have it, and they got everything and more from the first-team All-NBA performer. So the Dallas Mavericks now 36-27 on the season, 17-14 at home, welcoming the Sacramento Kings, who they have not beaten yet this season, to try and give themselves an opportunity to get to 10 games above 500 and maintain their 5th seed slot right now where they currently are, tied with the Los Angeles Lakers, but virtually ahead of them because of the season series win that they have in winning 2 of 3 games against Tinseltown. We'll see if the Mavericks can continue to keep the momentum going as they careen toward the playoffs as they move forward in the Western Conference standings. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. This has been another episode of The Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.